Hello everyone. So if you ever considered buying an EV version of the Ford Mustang, then this Mach-E Rally edition could be a perfect contender in that, because it's got swagger and it's got the performance to match this look. So in today's video, we're going to be finding out everything in detail about this Ford Mustang Mach-E Rally. So this new Mustang Mach-E is offered in 4 different trims: Select, Premium, GT and the Rally edition, and the one that I'm reviewing is the Rally edition. And to be honest, this one looks the best out of all the other models, because in the GT variant, yes, there is power and performance, but on this it's a perfect blend of appearance, performance as well as comfort also. So let's begin from the front. If you notice, there is a different grille setup out here, not actually a grille, but it's just a covered front face, whereas on the GT and the lower variant this is a colored one, but on this it's black color cover out here. With these fog lights adds the Rally touch to this Mach-E, and they are the LED fog lights, and this pony badge out here, which is an illuminated one. The outside of it is illuminated. At the bottom there is this grill. It's actually an active grill, so whenever there is cooling needed, so it opens up when you switch on the air conditioning. It opens up, otherwise it's closed to make it aerodynamically efficient. And then this extension at the bumper again adds a lot of sort of sporty touches to this car. And then these functional vents so that air can channel on the outside from the side, and these headlights. So this is a full set of LED headlights, and as you can see, there are DRLs out here. They are also LED, and the top bit converts into the turn signal, and the main headlight cluster is also kind of a dynamic headlight cluster, because if there is an oncoming traffic, it reduces the beam and does that all automatically. Then there are these decals to add sort of Rally touch, and this is an optional extra provided on this. There are fair few things that are optional extra on this Rally edition. And underneath this sits 2 electric motors, one in the front and one in the back. And because there is no engine, so there is a usable storage. In order to open it, we have to pull this 2 times, or there is on the inside of the infotainment screen. Once we go inside, I'm going to show you that too. And we lift it, and then there is a storage out here with a Mach-E badging too. And this is like a small storage, and I've put my bag in here, and you can still stuff some more things. And also it's got a release button and also a light too. And there's another pony badge out here on the hood itself, under the hood, and it's a drainable one, so probably you can fill maybe liquid inside this one, because it's also got the seal and everything too. And then there is a camera for the active and the passive safety systems. Now once we move on to the sides, so there are these 19-inch gray wheels, and they are sitting on the Michelin Cross Climate 2 all-terrain tires, as well as these gray ones with the white color stripes on them. These ones are the optional extras. So yes, that's another bit. And it also got the Brembo performance brakes, but I really like the design on this. The wheel design is perfect, as well as the color on it, and look at how it perfectly fills the arches also. Like, it's so nicely done. And there are these coatings on the fender too, normal plastic ones. Even at the bottom there is normal plastic skirtings, as well as this Mach-E Rally. Again, this is part of the graphic package where you have the decals and this Mach-E Rally, plus this black color roof out here, and this also in sort of matte finish, these side rails that finish in the back with this big spoiler. And this spoiler is also an optional extra, but it looks absolutely amazing and fitting on this car, because it's not overly shouty that I'm a rally car or a performance car, but in a subtle way it still maintains that elegant design, as well as the appearance also, which is very well done. Now when we come to these side mirrors, so these are black color side mirrors. They are power foldable, power adjustable. They also have the blind spot warning on the inside, as well as a turn signal and also a camera from the 360-degree camera system. And in terms of the charging, so here is where you will find the charging port. So it's got type 2 and type 3 capabilities, AC and DC, and a button to release here, and these lights to show you the charging levels. Now, as I mentioned, there are two electric motors, one sitting in the front and one in the back, and it's got a 91 kilowatt hour battery pack, same as the previous generation or the GT Premium Select variant, whatever you select from. And it's got a maximum charging of 150 kilowatt, that's the speed, and it's also got an 11 kilowatt portable charger too. And in terms of the range, the claimed range is 426, which is a slight drop from the GT variant because of adding the different set of tires, as well as there is a Magna Ride magnetic damper that's sitting on it. Now, when we go on the drive, this is actually going to come in very handy because it's actually improved the ride quality on this so much, and it gives it the dual nature. Like, you can switch to rally mode because there is one rally mode too, and the comfort mode, and on all of them it gives a very subtle ride experience. And in terms of the door handles, if you notice, there are no door handles out here, and instead there is this one in the front. There is this sort of winglet out here and this button. So you gotta press this button because these doors are keyless entry doors, the front and the back, as well as there is also this keypad in the Ford style. So you can put a 4-digit code out here, so in case you don't have the key or you lose them, you can just access the car using that. And in the back too, you press this button, and these are the illuminated buttons. So there is like a ring that comes on, and then you press that and then open it. It's a unique style for sure to open these doors, because you first have to press that and then pull the handle, whereas there is no handle in the rear. Now, I want to still touch upon this spoiler, because this spoiler, it is big, but at the same time it's also got this matte finish to it, and it feels like it used to be present on the Ford Focus RS, and from there it's been picked up, or at least the design of it. But I'm not complaining because it looks absolutely fabulous from the side profile. And in the rear too, the same 19-inch wheels, and again skirtings on the fender too, and a very roundish design. If you look at it, no sharp lines or anything, a very round body design. I'm sure it makes it very efficient also to drive. And in the rear, again, more decals in the form of 2 stripes provided in the back. That's an optional extra. This pony badge is not illuminated, but yes, that's also been provided in the back. And then when we come to these rear tail lights, so these are full set of LED tail lights. The turn signals are the ones that are sitting at the bottom, the same ones convert into the turn signals, and these are the dynamic turn signals, the front and the rear. And the reverse light sits at the bottom out here, centrally mounted, and at the bottom again normal plastic bumper, but it's a good combination because you don't need glossy black, because it might become a bit scratchy if you keep cleaning it over the time. But this one is perfect, and it's a rally car, so if you damage it, it's just easier to replace. So there's also underbody covering, again part of the rally package. And in terms of the visibility, it's slightly restricted, I would say, because it's got the medium to lower level visibility, but the higher level visibility is slightly missing because you can see the glass sort of tapering, and then that reduces the visibility slightly. Now, in order to open the trunk, you press this button, or there is another button to open it from the inside, also from the infotainment screen. Now, it's an EV, so the battery pack sits at the bottom. So there are these cuff plates that are provided, and there are also these tying hooks given all across inside, and also this trunk light, which is got this pony badge too, this 12-volt power socket, and then this rubber mat on this, again that's provided without any extra charge with the pony badge on it. So when the rear seats are folded up, you can put 29.7 cubic feet of luggage, which is decent, it's usable, but it's quite raised up, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle to put your luggage in and out from this setup. There is also a trunk separator, but I like this thing because it's a thin one, and yeah, you don't really have to put any effort, or if you remove it also, it just sits in there very flat. So I like this idea, it does not consume the trunk space. And underneath the trunk floor sits the tire repair kit as well as the portable charger, which is 11 kilowatts. Now in terms of the charging, so the charging timings can vary from, let's say, 35 minutes if you plug in at a 150 kilowatt charger, and it can go into several hours. So all of that is very variable depending on the climate on that day. So yes, the charging times are very unpredictable that way to guess, but roughly at fast chargers it takes between 35 to 45 minutes to charge this thing. Now in order to fold down the seats, which are foldable in a ratio of 60:40, you have to go in the front because there is no lever or anything provided, and then you press a button out here, fold down the seats, and the same for the other one. So when the rear seats are folded down, you can put 59.7 cubic feet of luggage, which is again decent, but as I said, the floor is quite raised, so it's a very rectangular space that you get to put your bags and stuff. So yeah, lots of bag it will eat for sure, and yeah, keep them inside. So the floor itself is quite flat, there is no step or anything, so it's going to be very easy to load the luggage. Now let's check out the interior, because that remains nearly the same, just that some of the touches have been given on this one. So this door card comes with the soft touch material on the top and this phosphate material on the side, and this leather covered handrest with a white color stitching, this white color stripe too, and then normal plastic but good quality plastic, I would say. And check out the interior, very minimalist driver display, big infotainment screen, and some really nice seats. I'm going to mention that too, with the Mach-E Rally badging on them, and then the white color stitching, this Ford performance mentioned on these seats. And then you see the steering, again it's got this accent at the bottom side, so bits out here and there, and also behind the seats, let me show you from the back side, half white provided. So yeah, they've added these touches to make it feel a little special, but otherwise it's very much like the GT variant. So let's jump on the inside and show you the interior. So it's got this fabric material out here, and the reason being that there are two speakers behind this, as well as on the driver side a speaker here and a speaker here. So it's got the Bang & Olufsen surround sound system, whereas on the top it's normal plastic, but again good quality plastic. This curve out here, which is where you can put some of your stuff maybe. And then if you see this infotainment screen, it just fits about the right eye level. It does not go beyond the lowest glass level in the front, which is a good thing, and I'm sitting quite low down at the lowest point, and after that it's this much. Otherwise, if you're sitting up, then this is the sort of visibility that you can expect. And then this pattern plastic out here that's been provided, again for suede material out here, even on the door cards. On the top there is good fabric material provided too. On the side face, again normal plastic materials, glossy plastics all around, and then even on the handrest it's leather covered with the white color stitching. It's a movable one. And then the steering, again leather covered, white color stitching with these white color accents. Let's switch on the car and then get to see the car in action, and then fire up these screens, and there's a bit of an animation that goes on this 15.5 inch infotainment screen. Sounds quite massive, but you do get used to it, and it's not very intrusive. I like it. And you can even change the brightness and the theme of it from white to black if you prefer that too. So in terms of the driver's display, so there is a 10.2 inch digital driver's display, and in terms of the changing of the information, there is not much that you can do with it, absolutely nothing. It's just a fixed set of information. On the left side it shows you the charge and the range, on the right side your speed and the charging, because it's also got the regenerative system, so it shows you when it's recharging and stuff. And then if you notice this one written and a pedal on it, so it's the one pedal drive that's it's activated. You can switch it off from inside this infotainment screen, and then more information on the bottom, but that's about it. That's how you operate this. You don't really operate the driver's display, but just, yeah, you see this, and then even the cruise control information is displayed in the center. And if you're noticing these two sensors, because it's a part of the Ford's Blue Cruise, which is an optional extra, so hands-free driving, so these sensors monitor that you are looking all the time in front of the road and holding the steering also, so it's for that. Now when we come to the steering, so this is a leather covered steering wheel, white color stitching, white color accents all across, pony badging in the middle, and buttons provided on either side, and no paddle shifters, because yeah, this is an EV, so there's no need for that. And also you cannot really control how much energy it regenerates, because it's just the one pedal drive, or just leave it without that. And if you notice, there's also a stalk out here which is for the gear shifter, so again quite easy to use this one too, and very close to your hand itself. And the steering wheel is manually adjustable, which is tilt and telescopic. And on the right side there are buttons provided for the media controls and the communication options, whereas on the left side there are buttons provided for the adaptive cruise control, as well as the Ford's Blue Cruise, which is an optional extra that's been provided on this. So very simple, simplified steering setup, and it's a round steering, no half bottom or anything, although it still feels very sporty to hold too. Now when we come to the air conditioning, so the air conditioning controls are sitting out here on the 15.5-inch infotainment screen, so it consumes this much of area at the bottom, and it's a fixed one, so you can't really change much out here in terms of what consumes the space. So you get dual zone air conditioning system on this Mach-E Rally edition, and the thing is that there is a dedicated button to switch it on or off, so you have to press this fan button or the on-screen temperature options to switch it on, and then this dial that converts from volume dial to the fan dial, and then it disappears again. So every time you would need to adjust the fan speed, you then have to switch this on, this option, and then adjust all of that. And then on either side the controls for the temperature and the flow of air that can be adjusted from inside this detailed screen. And then on and off button is provided out here on the top side from here, and then we close it, and then there are more options provided at the bottom, as well as the heated steering wheel option that's been provided. And on the edge you have these on-screen buttons for the heated seat options, and again this dial to control the levels. So the driver and the passenger side seats are both the heated seats, or you can leave them onto the auto. Oh wow, it's already getting quite hot underneath my bottom. So yeah, that's how you operate the infotainment screen. Now when we come to the infotainment screen, so this is a 15.5-inch infotainment system provided on this Mach-E Rally, and even on the other variants starting from Select, Premium or GT, you get the same 15.5-inch screen. So in order to use this screen, so the first option is out here on the corner, so you can select that, and it remains sort of into that view all the time. So the first option is the radio, phone, then inbuilt navigation system, although it does come with the connectivity like Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. So you can use Google or Apple Maps too, but nonetheless good to have onboard navigation system also. And it's a bit slow because it's loaded with a lot of graphics. And then the media options, so in terms of the connectivity, you can connect to this infotainment screen using Bluetooth, USB, and there is wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Then the charge settings, then the public charging to find any public chargers, tire pressure, trips, so it will show you the trip information, owner's manual, and then the entertainment option. So if you're parked somewhere, you can play some of these games while your car is charging. Lots of options to choose from. And then the detail vehicle settings are out here, the controls. So that's where you will find the option to open the front hood door and also the trunk door, as well as the charging disconnection also. So if you are plugged into a charger, then you can disconnect that too. And then the 3 driving modes. So the first one is the whisper, where you will see one pedal drive propulsion sound. So it would, like, blast artificial engine sound on the inside. And then the auto hold. Then the engage is more sportier kind of driving mode. And then the unbridle is where it goes absolutely bonkers because it gives you full power, and it's like for the track day if you can do that. So it's got a faster quarter mile and quicker 0 to 60 acceleration, one pedal drive propulsion sound. But if you notice, then is this the rally mode, it switches to that. So it would basically switch off the traction control, and it shows me out here too. So to switch off the traction control, give you the maximum power, as well as it would stiffen up the suspensions because it's got the Magnarite dampers on that too. So yeah, these are the sort of setups out here in terms of the drive mode, and then the calm screen to switch this screen off. Then the sound settings, so you get Bang & Olufsen surround sound system, then the phone list, driver assistance, all the safety systems that's been provided. As I said, it's a bit slow to load sometimes because it's been heavily loaded with a lot of options and graphics, and a lot of options are on the inside. Then the vehicle settings, all of it, lighting and everything, because it's also got the mood lights that are provided out here in the footwell, as well as on the inside near the cup holders out here, the bottle holders in the door cards. And then the next option is the general. So general again covers all of your language, speeds, brightness, instrument cluster, dark theme. This is the mode. So even this instrument cluster mode can go into the white color mode, or you can leave it in dark. And the center display, I like it in the dark mode. Let me switch it to the dark mode because yeah, it's less bright and less distracting, especially at night. And the connectivity options, software upgrades, Ford Assistance, Amazon Alexa, and the valet mode to lock some of the features. Then a dedicated 360-degree camera options. So in order to call the cameras at any point, you can do that too, or you can even select on the inside the different sort of views that are provided. Then the next option is the Android Auto whenever it's connected, and Amazon Alexa. And at the bottom, these options that you see out here, they are the more flexible ones, so they keep changing as and when you interact with different options. But that's how essentially you use the infotainment screen on this Mustang Mach-E Rally. And then, as I mentioned, this pattern on the dashboard, and then really nicely done dashboard also. It feels very premium and quality, as well as the white stripe out there too. Now in terms of the charging, so there are two USB ports, one type C and one normal, along with a wireless charger that's been provided. And there's also one more 12-volt power socket that's been given out here in the center console, and two more type C USB ports. They are for charging. And for the rear passengers, there are two more type C USB ports. Now in terms of the storage, so in the door cards you cannot put really much, and you can see these mood lights out here. So in terms of the storage, you cannot put much. You can put about half a liter worth of bottle in the door cards, that's about it. This wireless charging pad and some more storage on the side, and then these two flexible cup holders, this storage out here to put your phone, and then another one to put your keys, and then this slidable one where you open it, and then again you can put your phones and wallets, and then this adjustable handrest, not adjustable, but you have to lift it and then yeah, put it down, and then you can utilize this storage also underneath. This glove box also decently big. There's additional storage provided underneath the front USB ports. There's also a sunglass holder, and same amount of storage goes on for the passenger side too. Now the sun visors are also the extendable one, and there is no sunroof or anything, and I get it because to be honest, it just makes the car feel a bit noisy sometimes. So yeah, it's the best thing to do. Plus it's an EV, so it's extremely quiet on the inside, so it's essential to keep the space very calm and quiet. Now in terms of the seats, so these seats are the leather seats as well as the suede material provided in the center. So they are the black color leather seats and white color stitching, as well as in the back there are these accents added in the white color plastic. And then these seats are some of the best seats I have sat on. It's really very well done for sure, because they are comfortable and they offer so much of comfort for longer journeys, and this suede material makes it even more comfortable. And the best part is this shoulder rest that you see curves around, and it really supports you in terms of offering the shoulder support. And these headrests, they are slightly on the firmer side, but it doesn't matter because the seats themselves are really comfortable. So it's a good blend of sporty seats as well as the comfortable seats. There's good amount of side support as well as the bottom support, and they are genuinely quite long and broad also, so there is good amount of support underneath the thigh too. Now in terms of the adjustability, so the driver and the passenger side seats are both 8-way electronically adjustable and 2-way lumbar adjustments. Now let's go in the back, and again one more thing is this. In order to open the door, there is this lever that's been provided. Yeah, I like this. It's a good place to put that thing, because it's a convenient location to open it. And again, you have to get a little used to that, but it's fun. I mean, it doesn't become a bother over time. Now in terms of the rear seats, so the rear seats again are a mixture of leather and the suede material, and then these white color sort of dots also are provided. They were there in the front also, and out here too, white color stitching, 3 headrests. And in terms of the comfort, yes, these seats again are super comfortable, that's for sure. It's just that they are more flat bench kind of setup, so because the battery pack is sitting at the bottom and they are quite low down, these seats, so when you are sat inside, first you cannot slide the legs under the seat because the floor is quite raised up, and then you are sitting quite low down, so there is a bit of a under thigh support that's been missing. But overall the seats do offer good amount of comfort inside them, as well as there is a middle seat also. Once you sit on that one, it's also soft too, so it's not a hard setup, but the backrest is slightly on the firmer side because there is an armrest in which there are 2 normal cup holders. But in terms of the seating position in the rear, yes, again the backrest is also quite flat, so 3 passengers can easily fit into the rear seats, because the seats also have a bit of a angle and a cutout, so yeah, they offer extra bit of knee room, almost more than half a palm worth of knee room that can be gained out here. And in terms of the headroom, again more than half a palm worth of headroom also, because there's a cutout here too, so easily 6'2" person can easily sit in the back too. And there is no tunnel out here, it's a flat floor in the back too, and there are 2 air conditioning vents along with the 2 USB ports that's been provided. So in terms of the overall position in the rear, yes, it's definitely pretty comfortable to sit into the rear seats, and definitely one of the top 3 these sort of crossover SUVs that you can prefer for rear seating, especially if you use them a lot. Now in terms of the door card quality, again soft touch material on the top side, this white color stripe, this suede material also on the side face, and then where you're going to be resting hands, that's black color leather covered with the white color stitching on the sides. This door handle, lever to pull and open it, and then around the switches again normal plastic. At the bottom again more normal plastic but good quality plastic. And then in terms of the storage, again not much that you can put here, maybe half a liter worth of bottle in the horizontal fashion, that's about it. So yeah, storage can be a little bit improved in terms of offering that more on this. Otherwise, yeah, it's taking space because of these Bang & Olufsen speakers that are provided. So in terms of the usage in the rear also, pretty good and comfortable offering that's been given on this new Mach-E Rally. So this new Ford Mustang Mach-E Rally edition is powered by 2 electric motors, one in the front and one in the back, and combined they produce 480 horsepower and 700 pound-feet of torque. And it's got the all-wheel drive because there is one motor in the front and one in the back. And in terms of the power delivery, as you know with the EVs, it's instant. There is no lag or anything because the torque is immediate, so there is a rapid build-up of that. So currently I'm in the whisper mode because I wanted to gradually build it up to that the sport mode, or what they call it as the unbridled mode. So yeah, in this itself it's so fast right now. Now let me just put it into the unbridled mode and unlock all the potential that this car has. So now, I'm so terrified. There is absolutely so much of wheel spin, and the moment you press the throttle, immediately the throttle mapping is amazing. Like it immediately picks up your response. So you have to be very careful, and let me put it in the rally sport mode, and then I can feel like it's become even more powerful now. Yeah, and it absorbs the bumps so very well thanks to the Magna-Ride magnetic dampers, and then even the steering becomes so much more stiffer compared to the other modes. Like in the rally, it totally becomes pretty stiff, and I like that. So really good setup that way, and the power delivery is amazing. The chassis on this, yes, really makes you want to go for more, and at the same time it doesn't really lose its balance because the power distribution has been done very well. But yes, in the rally you can get your tail out a little bit if you wanted to, but just the unbridled mode, it's more of a fun. It's just so fast. It's faster than my thoughts, and it just plants me straight into these seats. Like, yeah, really have to recalibrate how you visualize acceleration, because this thing can accelerate from 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds. So yeah, it's a different kind of machine for sure. And with this rally edition, Ford Performance team has done a brilliant job in unleashing the true potential out of this Mach-E model. So yeah, really well done. And also there is the regeneration option that's happening, so one pedal drive is also a part of it, and it puts good amount of energy into the system also. And in terms of the efficiency, so from the electric motors in everyday driving, I am getting between 19 to 19.5 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers, and on longer distances, when some of the accessories are off, like no air conditioning, no charging going on, I managed to get it between 18 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers, and the claimed official one is somewhere between 21. So it's still doing nearly very well. And also if I check the range right now, after doing like about 260 kilometers, it's still showing me about 425 kilometers of range. So it sticks to that figure, also the official numbers. So yeah, not too bad. If you do too much of this, it's gonna ruin and upset the range after that, and also the economy. So yeah, it's just for the fun, because why not? What are the EVs made up of otherwise? So yeah, it's to experience this, the true fast nature of them. Really good, really well done. Now when we come to the suspension, so as I mentioned, there are Magna-Ride magnetic dampers on this Mustang Mach-E Rally, and in terms of their overall calibration, fantastic work has been done. It's really soft when you want it to be in the whisper mode, very comfortable, absorbs the bumps very well, whereas if you put it in the rally mode, really stiffens up and then gives you that solid ride. Yes, it's not going to be feeling very sporty also, because it's always like unnerving to push it so much all the time, but yes, it will still offer you that support from the suspensions also. And in the rally mode too, because it's stiffer, so that is less roll too, and because the car is nearly like 5,000 pounds, so yes, there is a lot of weight riding on it, but surprisingly the car does not even seem to show up that weight. So yes, very well done in terms of that too. Let me put it in the rally mode, and then the setup does become stiffer, I can feel it, and in that mode the one pedal drive then stops in the rally mode. Now when we come to the steering, so there's an electronic steering, and in terms of the performance, yes, it changes the nature based on the different driving modes. In the rally mode, it's the most stiffest. I like that setup because it's very responsive, good amount of feedback from the road surface, and especially these tires are quite big and fat, and also the tires do very well because they are sitting on the 19-inch, so they absorb these bumps very well, and plus they are all-terrain tires. They are not really the most soft ones, but yeah, the car seemingly does very well on these tires too. So yes, the steering is pretty direct and very responsive, and it's just that it's got a very big turning circle, so that's the only thing to keep in mind. Now when we come to the brakes, so there are 4-disc brakes, the Brembo performance brakes that are provided on this Rally Edition. And in terms of the performance, very well done too, because the pedal setup is progressive and that's what you want. But yes, if you're going at sudden acceleration and then you try to brake it, it tends to just wiggle a little bit, and that's the ABS kicking in. But yes, it's still doing a pretty good job of making sure to stop this car on time. Now, when we come to the safety system, so there are 9 airbags, 2 for the front driver and the passenger, 2 side airbags again for the driver and the passenger, 2 side airbags even for the rear passenger, and there is also 2 curtain airbags in the pillars, and there is 1 driver side knee airbag, and there's also child isofix points in both the rear seats. The 360-degree camera system, pretty good output from that, very crisp and clear. Even in the dark you can easily see the views very easily. And in terms of the other safety systems, there's tire pressure monitoring system, ABS, that is the optional blue cruise control, the adaptive cruise control, and then there is the blind spot warning, then the front and the rear collision warning, the pedestrian warning. It has been able to successfully show me all the warnings around all the time. Then the lane keep assist, lane departure warning. So yes, all the safety systems. Also in terms of the noise and the vibration, so the car, because it's an EV, it has to work doubly hard to make sure everything is quiet. So yes, it's a very quiet car, and plus there is no sunroof, as I mentioned, so it's on top of that extra quiet too. Yes, there's a bit of occasional wind whooshing from around these windows and a bit of tire noise, but that is very slight compared to the EV setup. Yes, it's pretty quiet, and I would say it's a fairly quiet cabin for sure on the inside, and nothing is rattling or loose as such. So yeah, pretty good quality stuff too. And as I mentioned, in the unbridled mode, there is the propulsion sound, and I don't know if my microphone can hear it. I'm just gonna let you hear. Yeah, it gives you that muscle car sort of sound on the inside. Yeah, it helps you make it a bit more exciting while driving this thing, but still you gotta focus because it can suddenly jump on it. And I suggest you first test this car in the unbridled mode with a very light foot, because it can quickly just erupt with a lot of power and torque and throw at your face without you realizing. So yeah, just make sure to take it easy before you start that. Now when we come to the pricing, so this Rally Edition of Mach-E as standard comes in at 69,995 Canadian dollars with additional taxes, and there are 12,075 Canadian dollars worth of optional extra put on this, and it takes the total to 82,070 Canadian dollars plus taxes. Now I know it's an eye-watering price to pay for an EV, and to be honest, I would suggest remove all the optional extras, but with that you also remove all these decals and the optional suspensions that are provided, and all of that really add the value to this car because it looks pretty amazing. Especially the Mach-E over the years has tended to have faded in the EV game because it used to sit back a little bit, and I guess that's why Ford realized that and then decided to spruce up things a little bit and introduce this model, and it has definitely put this thing in front of a lot of competitors. And yeah, it does feel genuinely quite sporty, at the same time comfortable also. It's got very comfortable interior on the inside and genuinely good use of materials too. And then the screen, yeah, all of that tech that's also been provided, and it's also very spacious also for easy 5 passengers on the inside. So yes, it's also practical at the same time. The range is pretty good, let's be honest. 400 plus kilometers is what you're going to be using it nearly throughout the week, or at least midweek, so it's not going to be a bother. Plus if you have a fast charging setup around, then that's going to make again things quite easier. Again, charging infrastructure is something, if you have it, it's going to make your life very easy. So if you are in a house, then yes, you would probably have that, but otherwise in the city, yes, you need to find something that's got a fast charging setup around. So after that, yes, things are going to be quite easier to manage. But yes, definitely if you're looking for an EV, a crossover SUV, then this Mach-E Rally edition with these optional extras, it's definitely worth going for. It's got the character, it's got the performance. Oh, yes, and it's got some, yeah, pretty good looks with all these optional extras and that spoiler too. So yeah, definitely make sure to check this car out. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to click the subscription button and leave all the notifications on, and also press that thumbs up button if you like this video. I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye, take care and drive safe.